Okay, welcome back to sequel 3 of entrepreneurship and the walkthrough through all the 12 houses in the zodiac and what they might represent for you. So take it as a reference. Okay, so battery went off. We are going to continue where we left off yesterday. And yeah, we talked a little bit about 8th house. I know a few people who, a couple of them are Leos. One of them passed away, bless her soul. They have this intense knowledge about the occult, about mystery. And because they are Leo as well, they have a natural magnetic aura. People are attracted to these people like they are fire. So this house is also ruled by Mars and the underworld god, also known as Pluto. In my ancient northern religion, it would be Hela, where we get the word hell from. So when we are moving through 8th house, we are working with mysteries, something that is hidden and something that transforms you. So for those of you who have a strong 8th house, you will experience, if you are combined Leo, you will experience some intense things. And one of the Leos, before she passed away, she wrote a book. It's called Star Avatar, and I believe it's available. Her name is Miranda Linda Weiss, so bless her. And the other guy is very much alive, and the story he tells me, and the knowledge that he has that belongs to the 8th house is really impressive. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, I actually used him one time as a magnet. I simply asked him if you want to join forces with your knowledge within Reiki and your experience, and with my knowledge, how to arrange this. And in a way, we are Shiva Shakti in so many ways. We are very similar. I'm Scorpio, but I have all my houses in Leo. So we are very similar and opposite. I see him as orange, while I am more of a blue in color. Now, when we joined forces, the amount of people that came was 3 times as much. So again, note that very often people are a little bit attracted, subtly we are attracted to patriarchy. Like when I told you I wrote the book, and I did a test to check how much attention do I get if I present myself as a male guru versus a new age female. The male guru was the one that got the attention. Now, if that is what you have to do, you don't have to deceive people, but find a neutral name. Kim is a neutral name. Orion is a neutral name. And people can decide for themselves whether you are a man or a woman. Now, if people subtly let themselves attract more to the male figure than the feminine figure, well, that is your little slap on their hands to remind them of that, in fact, without the divine feminine, life would cease to exist. And very often when women get power, we need to almost betray ourselves or behave like we are male. Tomboy, we call it in Norway. So here in Thailand, we have lady boys. They make a lot of money from being a lady boy. And tomboy. Okay, so that is the 8th house. This is where you find detectives and also these things. So if you want to work as an entrepreneur within this field, we discover things that other people are not looking for. And when you discover something, combine it with another ability that you have. In my situation, I have the ability to syntax words, to pick them apart and find parallel meanings and origins to the words, and find out the very meaning of something which people never thought about before, and put them into a new context. And again, I also have the ability to present it with my background in graphic design. Basically, I have all the tools I need to create a book. Now, how do we attract customer to buy that book? Well, that is where we need to look at house number 3. So we will get back to that later. Okay, so running off with house number 9, Sagittarius energy. This one is ruled by Jupiter. So this one is ruled now, in this case, we have the High Priestess. So this is actually quite resonant with this house, although she's ruled by the moon. She is the divine feminine that does not speak. She is the guru that does not speak. She is the very counterpart of the Hierophant, as we know it, which is Taurus. In this case, if she would be opposing him, she would be Scorpio, but in this case, she's ruled by the moon, so she would be closer to the Cancerian people. Now, she is someone who contains or accumulates the spiritual forces within her. She looks in, and without speaking and only holding the focus within, she is accessing what we know as the Akashic Archive, and therefore is able to have full control over all her ruling chakras, where you will see in many depictions her crown chakra or her headgear is kind of connecting to the above. So 9th house is all about travel. Now, as a digital nomad myself, or being nomadic for nearly 7 years, I find it a little bit more difficult to make the coins on my journeys than if I have a station. Why? Well, you have to put your work and I have to carry all these things with me. It takes a little, but you know, on the positive side, you get strong arms. Now, how can you make money from travel? Well, think about the obvious things. I come from a industrial country, a very rich country, a country that have a lot of oil. Each individual, you know, if we split the coins, we live in a wealthy country. Norway, we don't have to plunder anyone anymore. Anyway. And so basically everything you buy in this country is extremely expensive. Okay, so let's say I want to bring something to my country that I know have a specific interest in my own country. Well, let's just say that this pack of tarot cards, they cost about 60 Norwegian crowns. 60 Norwegian crowns, okay, 180 baht. So 60 crowns, that's about 6 euro, más o menos. So in Norway, this one is about 250 crowns. So that is one example. So basically in Thailand also, this t-shirt here is also bought here in Thailand. I mean, Thailand is awesome when it comes to t-shirts. I paid 250 baht. I could probably get it cheaper, or 200 baht, which is about 60 crowns. In Norway, I could easily charge about 300 to 350 crowns. So what do we do when we travel? Well, if we have, we don't have to have a lot of coins in order to hoard up things and bring it with us. Now, another thing, well, if you travel a lot, is that wherever you are, you learn something. So when I went to India, I learned Kalaripayattu. Now, because of the pandemic, I was forced to quit. But I did learn, because of my background, 1-year program in only 2 months. And I was therefore also able and allowed to perform the art. And because of the intensity of the program, 7 days a week, many hours, I was allowed to perform. And because of that, because of my general background in martial arts and dancing, I can now teach Kalari yoga. Basically, what you do is that you mix your knowledge and you create it into something new. Now I have created and established something new, which is based on the infinity symbol. That basically what all you need is to understand the basis of the infinity symbol. I will give you some basic grounds or tools you can work on in order for you to become completely independent. Now, in that case, I will also lose you as a customer. Now, what is the trick then to keep you as a customer when I basically have taught you that now you are self-employed? That is one question I want you to answer below. So this is where we are going to make extended videos, because there are certain things here that, well, certain strategies that they are in no means any sneaky. Let's just call it business, but we are keeping the heart, although this t-shirt tells you something else. The question here, how do you get customers to come back? I'm not talking about, you know, I know China is making bitch loads of money by constructing something new, by copying something that already exists. And whatever you pay them, that is the quality that you will get. Now, many companies today, they create something that have medium to quite poor quality. I was buying a cable at 7-Eleven, and only after 1 week I had to go back, get a new cable. So why didn't I go to the shopping mall? Well, it will cost me far more. What do I have to do? I have to be more careful, and when the opportunity comes, don't go to 7-Eleven to get your cables. Basically, that's one rule. Okay, so those are the things I want to talk to you about, especially in those extended videos that I want to make for you, is how to get your customer to return to you. Now, one thing which is important here is that you gain everyone's trust. So, despite what you might believe from before, that hold back things that can go wrong, don't do that. Be 110% honest, but it is how you present things which is very important. Now, if I present to you this elegant rock here, one of them, we have two similar quartz rocks. Now, this one is bigger, but let's say I haven't washed it, cleaned it, it's a little bit dirty, and the way I say, hey, you want to buy this rock? Versus a story where this is found and why it has sentiment to me. And in that area, it's known to be a UFO site, and that it was actually found close to a spaceship. That is the story. And thieves came and they picked it apart, and that's why this crystal is very special, because it grew on a spaceship. And that's why we have to charge you a little bit extra. And you have these bags from China costing you next to nothing. Now, if you want to work, let's say this bag, when you throw it, you toss it away, it will not be something that Mother Nature is too happy about. So a lot of people have made, or you can actually recycle your own paper, which is another thing I would love to teach you or show you how you can easily make your old paper into new paper and put lavender into it and make it exclusive, sexy and new and cool. So of course this one growing out from the alien ship is not exactly true. But what is true is that we know there are crop circles. We know there are things that are magic in life. So if you can connect a magical story to this crystal versus this rock, basically it's the same crystal. This one is more yellow inside and it's not as blank as you can see. It's the same crystal. How you present it, it's the difference. And how you present you is also the difference. So me dressing up in all white and how I vibe, the music I have in the background, and make sure the sewer is clean. There's no smell of sewer there. You have a little incense or you have a little papaya oil. That's one of my favorite smells in the background. The music alone and a comfortable space that is welcoming. You are welcoming, and don't bother their customers by following them around. And again, don't look them in the eye. Look them on the nose tip, less threatening. So this is something we already discussed. Now, a crystal like this might not sell that easy. You won't earn a lot of money from this one. Perhaps €1 is what this one is worth. Amethyst, it's something that is floating the market. However, if you want to make a travel puja, since we are still in the house of travel, we have a Shiva trident here, which will cost you €1 to €2. We have a crystal here, which basically resonates with your third eye. We have a Naga here, which is a symbol for the Kundalini energy, at least one part of them, or the power of the snake, which I like to call it. Now here we also have a package. Now I've emptied it, but basically they are increasing the value of this package by putting a tiny candle, small incense sticks, and just a few cones. And yeah, there was an elephant thing here, so I can put the, yeah, I don't know, it's a pair somewhere, so I can put the cones on top of the elephant, or this one here. So in 1 second we double or triple the value of the pieces that are in here. So packages that looks exclusive, which have a good offer, and that are, let's say we are getting close to the full moon, a full moon package, which of course is made from your heart. Fill it up, and all of a sudden you sell more things in one go. Simple and easy and logic. And in here I would certainly want something to smell good. So basically when you open it, or you just keep it, if you have a little lavender inside also, there is a scent to it which create positive affirmations, because affirmations are everything. It's everything. If you have bad affirmations to something, you don't want to go back. You don't want that. Okay, so 10th house, that is where we actually create a career. That is where Capricorn rules with Saturn. And here there is Messenger of Earth. So Messenger of Earth is someone who is literally down to earth. They won't tell you a crazy story on what happened on the road. You know, they will just deliver something very simple to you. This is all about simplicity. It's very solid. And this messenger carries with him a guarantee. a guarantee that whatever they give to you will work. And if it doesn't work, I will personally give you my money back. Now, when it comes to the 10th house versus 6th house, the 6th house is connected to health and work. 10th house is where you really climb and become your own boss. So this is the energy of the Capricorn. Now have a look at Capricorns, how they jump the mountains. It makes me speechless to watch them. It looks like they're literally flying, how they are jumping around, boom, 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 boom. Now this is a very big powerhouse. So you can look in your medium Queeling, your MC, in your chart to see where is your career house. And in this area, you will also find something you really yearn for, something you really, you know, your highest passion. So I have mine in Pisces, in tropical, which is I yearn for the other world, which I remember that I came from. And from there, I create pictures, I create stories, it inspires me to write poetry, even print t-shirts and create comics. Now, the challenge is always how to push it, how to flip it, how to sell it, how to convince people that your product is awesome. So again, that is where, you know, you want to have a Gemini / Leo in your 3rd house, or, you know, to work on your 3rd house on the part. So whatever you do, marketing is everything. Again, repeat, marketing is everything. And one customer that you choose to treat really shitty, what if that customer happened to have 10,000 YouTubers or 1 billion YouTubers or a lot of friends in that area who are very powerful? So that's why we say in Norway, the customer is always right. So don't try to avoid argue with the customer. But then again, I also have this mentality, don't let yourself be treated like shit. We need to respect each other. So you will be confronted. I am confronted all the time with tarot cards. People want me to believe what they believe. And I simply say, you know, there are 8 billion people on this planet. Who should I follow? Which one of them is more right than the other? Easy question, isn't it? So we are going to see if we can manage to finish this video before we continue with more specific subjects that you want to know, if you want. So many of the things that I know I've been taught, but also I've been running several businesses, so many of the things are also experience. Now, I made my first convention when I was 17. And did a lot of people come. Now, 10 of air is someone who betrayed you in work, basically. So someone you could have experienced that someone betrayed you, and that is the point. You walk away from this individual, because if they betrayed you once, you have to always, you know. And what is betrayal in this case? Well, you share your company with someone, and let's say you are really dumb. You meet a sweet Thai girl here in Thailand, and you're not allowed to work here in Thailand, so you put your name in your Thai girlfriend's name. And then one day you have an argument, and you are bashing each other. Boom, what do you know, your entire sweat equity is gone. So that is one quite dumb way in losing pretty much everything. Now, I was with someone for 10 years, actually 14, 15 years, have a child together, we shared a house together, and just like that, the house was gone. Why? Because he chose to be what we call the king of coins in reversed, playing with the money and putting the house at risk, also playing with money and putting my name on the pay list. Basically, I was the one who had to pay for his scam. In that case, when it goes this deep, I'm not talking about, you know, 10 euro or 100 euro here, we are talking about 50,000 euro. You are basically forced to go to police to clear your name, because no one wants to invest in someone who are blacklisted on the pay market. Still, I have 2 red marks on my list, which I have to fix when I go back to Norway, that are connected to this specific case. So that is betrayal for you. So when you want to work with someone, make sure that your nest and your framework, your fundament is patented. If you are the prime creator, the sole creator of a book, drawings, and the other one is working with the marketing, make sure that they don't run away with your name. And there are cases of this. There is a movie about this one man who pretended to be this great artist. This movie, you can probably find it for free on YouTube. It's called Big Eyes. So she was known to create beautiful pictures of big eyes people, like dollies. And her husband would take the honor for it. So for some reason, he managed to manipulate her into thinking that, you know, as a man presenting these things, we will earn more money together. And with your psyche, you are, you know, you're not well, you are too stressed. It's not good for you that you present this work as yours. Of course, they ended up in court and it all had a beautiful ending. So now she is the one who is famous for making the Big Eyes pictures. So last card is the House of Pisces. Now Pisces here you have Queen of Air. This is someone who is working pretty well on her own, she's single, she's her own boss. She also contains a lot of knowledge, as you can see on the owl card here. Usually the swords are symbolized also with ravens, because ravens are the smartest bird of them all. They have the intelligence of an 8-year-old child, which basically have turned into part of my branding. Now, very often when people start a business, especially if you're affected by Neptune, people like me, we spend a lot of time in how the business should look like. What fonts should we have, as in the letters, you know, the fonts, should they be like this or more futuristic? Should we have a soft image? Should we choose blue versus red? In this case, I would follow the feng shui principle, because red is something that psychology-wise is taking action, is about taking action. So the moment you write something in red, or you have something red next to your text, you take action. I don't know if you have noticed that a lot of my clickbaits, yes, I do use clickbaits. I use them because my content is good as anyone. So I'm trying out big capital letters versus small letters. That's a trick also. Know that capital letters, writing that in your name means that you're dead, according to the Blacklaw's dictionary. So you want to know what you are talking about. So subconsciously, when things are cool, when you can relax, we turn to green. That is a healing color. That is a color that says you can walk. Now, yellow or orange is that color that says, okay, prepare yourself. So you see the cat before it jumps to its prey, you know, it's sitting like this and it starts to focus. So this is where we we let go of the clutch, where we get ready to speed with our car, or we get ready to walk. Now, red, all of a sudden coming, stop. So blue color and blue and red, well, basically for those of you who have no color background, blue consists, green consists of blue and yellow. So in order to create this color, that's why it's not a primary color, it's a secondary color. So basically you need these two in order to create this. So for some reason, and because of that, if you have more blue to this color, it is more likely that people will relax a little bit more in your surroundings. Now, that's why we also have light blue in the bedroom. If you want to work as an interior architect, light blue, something that is light but also makes you sleepy. Too much blue, you invite depression. So for me, all the walls white, finished. And it will create you more flexibility when it comes to what kind of pictures you are putting on the wall. Whatever you are surrounding yourself is something you're also going to attract. So when I go around dressed like this, I very easily attract the bad boys or the cool chicks, or it's more easy for me to attract people who want to sell me something, as in ganja or something else shit, or people who actually have very often a very negative attitude, I noticed. So sometimes I simply have to change me in order to get fresh air from whoever I appear to be. Now, who are we really? Well, we are what we love. You know, if I love comic, I love tarot cards, I surround myself with artwork. I love art, I love pictures, I love drawing, I love cartoons, so I surround myself with cartoons. And one of my passion is I want to create everything with cartoons on, as not Marvel style, but more like the Dark Horse, if you're familiar with Sandman. So when I am this obsessed with cards, how can I make money from that? Because last time I checked, I don't even have 1,000 followers. So what is it that makes me taking my time? Well, one thing is quite obvious, the other one is not, and that's where I want you to answer below. What is the obvious question here? How can you make someone come back? How can you have a returning customer? And how on earth can I make money from tarot cards? Well, I'll give you one secret. This is a collector's item. Why? Because it's got 4 extra cards added to them, which is artwork and have nothing to do with Ryder and Mrs. Smith at all. So in 10 to 20 years time, if I want something at value, then this one will have a certain value because it's a collector's item. Same goes for David Bowie here. Then the value alone, now I taken it out, I use the cards because these are for me. But if I want to invest 30 euro more and keep this within the plastic, it's not just tarot card people who would want this artwork. How many people in the world do you know who are obsessed with David Bowie? A lot of people. So before you know it, 30 euro turns into God knows in the bidding market. So I kept one doll that was called Sandman, and I hopefully still have it somewhere, and I kept it inside the box unpacked. It is now worth 150 euro. When we bought it, maybe 50 euro. So in 20 years it's been raising with, I don't know, 1,000 crowns or 100 euro. So those are the tiny, tiny things. Now think about it. If you have something massive that you have created for yourself, I'll reveal to you one thing. To create something like this for me, this type of picture, is not hard at all. If you know how to take a picture, photography, and if you know how to use Photoshop, well, there you go. So is it a challenge? Of course it's a challenge. It's a very good picture. One reason I bought them. But if you have a look at all the tarot cards, you see the drawings which are inside these tarot cards, they're bad. So what makes this tarot card sell anyway, despite the fact that the drawings themselves are horrible? Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, the fact that they are queer is one thing, but if you look at the colors and how funny they are made, the clothes and the outfits and these kind of, you will attract also psytrance people basically, who loves these kind of colors, who loves the smash, you know. This is a cool refreshment to old, boring Rider-Waite. So a lot of people, they are actually making money by redesigning these guys. So be careful with reprinting and stealing someone's artwork. If the changes, now these are more than 100 years old, so the patent in Norway at least, it is off. If you want to use Edvard Munch today, you know, the Scream, if you want to use his artwork and create tarot work, the Munch family cannot stop you, because now the patent protection from Munch is over, like about 5 to 10 years ago. So that will be it for today, my beautiful people. Remember, if you are creating something, make sure that you have the little symbol on your side that says C with the circle around it. It is your soul work, and sometimes you might have to register. If you are creating something that you invent, it might cost you a lot of money to patent something, because you need to pay to each country that you want to sell it to. And you can guarantee that if you send this work to China, they will copy it and they won't give a fuck. That's why you have to be fucking productive and don't give a shit, because you are the ones that have the original work. Catch you on the flip side.